Hello, how you doing? It's Mary, and I used to be called Mary Cat Stitches, but I changed my name to Mary's Random Stitching. So welcome to my little corner of the stitching community. I hope that you like what you see. I'm going to try to improve. So this was me wiping a clean slate and hoping that I do a better job. I mean, let's be honest. So the reason why I picked that I'm a random stitcher, I could have put chaos or all kinds of stuff, but I think that would, all those adjectives would probably describe me because of the type of stitcher I am. I've tried to be, following a list. I've tried the journaling. I've tried the calendar, and that's just not me. And so I feel like I'm going to try to do a video once a week. Whether I post it that once a week, I'm just going to try to do that to give you a little bit more detail of my week, because one week I'll decide to do it this way and then I'll change it and want to do it another way. And I know that it could get very confusing. That, and I'm very minimal on my editing. I used to try to edit. I used to try to take all day, and then I'm like, I'm not stitching, and then I'm not having fun. So you're not going to see any before and afters. It's just going to be basically, here it is. I do have my Instagram, which is still Mary Cat Stitches. I don't know if I'm going to change it or not. But if you want to see progress pictures that are more, flowing, then you could catch it there. The other reason why I'm random is I used to have one certain style, and now that I'm watching a lot of Flosstube and I'm interacting with a lot of different platforms, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook groups, and so on and so forth, my tastes are changing and evolving and developing. And so I don't just stitch on one kind of thing. I don't even have really a favorite designer. I know a lot of people do, and I'm not saying I don't gravitate to certain people, but I don't have to have every single thing of them, and I don't have to stitch all of one type of pattern. So that's why I'm a little random. I'm a little quirky, and I hope that doesn't bother you. So while I was away, I just wanted to explain to you what happened. So my son graduated Navy at the end of July, and I got sick. The weather changed, and then he was sick, and when we came down, I got a really bad sore throat, a lot of postnasal drip, to the point where I couldn't swallow, and I had laryngitis. My husband is finally getting better. He's just coughing up a lot of junk, but my mom just got sick. So if you could keep your fingers crossed that she gets better quickly, that would be amazing, because it hits her. She's 76, so it hits her a lot harder. So hopefully she'll have a speedy recovery. You're still gonna see her sometimes here, because she does diamond painting, and she just finished one, and I can't wait for y'all to see it. It looks really good. So now you're just stuck with me. Just kidding. So what did I do? While I was sick, I tried to work on a couple of things, and I just wanted something different, something new, something easy. And so I got the inspiration because I was trying to organize my area, and I'm always doing that because, you just get things accumulated. So I put a lot of my variegated floss and fancier floss in with my DMC, just kind of put it over there. And I thought, gosh, I have this random, floss that sometimes they're so out there, you don't really know what kind of project you could use with it. And so I was thumbing through my magazines like you do when you're sick, and I came across my Just Cross Stitch Spring of 2025. And there's a couple of them that this issue was really, really good, y'all. But what I decided to do, hold on just a second. I'm sorry, I had it and then it's gone now. Here it is. So I decided to do the tulip from Tracy at Wrought Iron Stitching. And I really love her patterns. I think they're really cute. I think this is the second or third one I've done. And perfect for spring. I don't have enough spring items. So the next thing I'm going to do is the Biscornu at some point. So what I did is I bought a kit, and a lot of times I'll open up my kits and kind of look at the fabric. Not that I'm opposed to the fabric. That's another thing I'm very random on. You know, I used to stitch a lot on just 32 count, and then my eyes are getting a little older. You know, I have projects right now that I'm just trying to use up what I have. That's 32 and 36. And I'm very slow at that. So I'm basically right now I'm enjoying 28 count and 14 count Aida, and sometimes I'll sprinkle in 16, 18 count Aida as well. So I'm random. I'll stitch on the 28 linen, 28 even weave, and 14, 16, 18 on Aida. So, but nevertheless, this was 14 count Aida, and I measured it, and my comfort zone is I like at least 3 to 4 inches. Now you're going to see one project I only have like 2, and I really detest it. But I just like it because you never know if I'm going to center it wrong, like I did with my granny sunflowers, and then I don't want to pitch it. So I learned the hard way. So here it is. So I'm sorry that it is ironed. I appreciate you not pointing that out. I know it's bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, I love it. And so I broke it down, you know, because I was sick, and it took me about a week. And it just was so enjoyable to say, oh, I'll do this motif. And this motif ended up turning into a beautiful flower. And I think that was such a cool idea. So the floss that I used to get most sales silk, not silks, but her cotton and silks. And when she had a Facebook group, I don't even know if she still has it. I just decided, you know, 7 years ago, you know, we had a lot of changes taking place, and I decided I didn't need it anymore. But luckily, I was able to get 2 skeins apiece. And so this is the leftover of this one. It's called Brazil, and it's just different pinks. And so the way I'm going to do the Biscornu is I'm going to do the top butterflies in this to make sure that I have enough, because this is only 5 yards. And so I used a portion of it that tulip actually took over a skein. And then I'm going to do something fun on the other side, you know, to do the whole pattern. I haven't decided yet because I'm not quite ready to work on it. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. Okay, so let's break down what I did last week. So as of right now, I'm really feeling it. So because I'd like to get a lot of work done on this one, is Saturday and Sundays during the day when I have, you know, a lot of natural light plus the lamp. I decided that I'm going to pull out Foxglove Fairy, and this is what it looks like. It's from Nora Corbett. And I'm really making some really wonderful progress on it. There's a lot to the dress and a lot of color changes, and so I worked on that. And then the gold, you know, the golden yellow on her wing. You know, so I'm starting the wing on this side. And so, yeah, it's really enjoyable. I can't wait till she's done so I can do the beading, because anytime to me, you look at a pattern and it's really hard to get excited about it. You're like, okay. And then when you see people stitch it up, you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so amazing. And the beads really give it a dimension. And so, yeah, I've seen several people work on that and finish it, and it's so beautiful. The next thing I decided to work on, so at night, sometimes I'll try to pull out something that has Aida. If I'm working on something that's non-Aida during the day, you know, because I'm not ready to stop stitching, but the eyes are getting tired. And so for Friday, I wanted to give some love on Manatee. Now this is the Stony Creek, you know, it's out of Sun and Sea, or Sea and Sun, I'm sorry. And this is what it's gonna look like. Right here. And I love manatees. We, you know, living in Florida, living in the part of Florida that I live in, we have where you can go visit certain times of the year. It's usually the winter and spring. I mean, you could go feed the manatees and look at the manatees, and they're so adorable. They're like big giants. And so I followed their page on Facebook. And so they just put a smile on my face. So as with Stony Creek, anybody that's ever done Stony Creek, there is a lot of color changes, but the end is going to be so worth it. And I'm doing this on some 14 count Aida. And I thought that like a coral orange would just make everything pop. I didn't really want to do it on white. And so I worked on the gray. And you could see his little face or her little face forming. So adorable. So I might pull this on, pull it out on Friday nights. Haven't decided yet. Okay. The next thing, I'm a little sad. Now this is my baked Alaska. That's from Glen Place. This is something that, I'll tell you why I'm sad in a second. I decided to work on this 100 stitches during the week, whether that's 3 or 4 days. It just depends on my schedule and if I'm going out or not. So this is what it looks like. And this is going to have beads, so it's going to look amazing. Not that it doesn't look like it that way, but I can't wait till I get to put the beads on. So I did about 300 stitches last week, but because I worked on a little bit while I was sick and stuff, I wanted to wash it. And of course, it was hand-dyed floss. Of course, you're taking a chance. And I didn't know if it was color fast or not. And it wasn't. So the blue faded. So this is my thoughts because it has happened to me before with other projects. That's why I typically don't do a lot of overdyed floss. You know, it could happen to you with DMC. I've had it with red and blue. But I'll show it to you. I'm just going to wash it when it's all done and just let the blue go where the blue goes and just say I meant to do it. Because this is way too much work for me to just pitch it. But you could tell I'm working on this side and I've done a lot since y'all seen it last. I mean, a lot. Just all of this. And so I'm really excited with the progress. So I don't know if I'm going to finish it this year, but I'm going to darn well try. And even if it goes into January, I just hope that it's sooner rather than later. You know, because this is one of my oldest whips, and it is for my son. And I know he's not going to know any better. You know, if I wash it, and even my mother said it doesn't look bad. And I take her word for it. So I like to get my oldest whip out of here. Okay, so this is the pattern I decided to work on for 4 days. And this week is going to be an exception because I had an appointment today. So it's already like 1 o'clock here. And then yesterday, with it being Labor Day, my schedule's kind of out of whack. So I'm just going to stitch random things. So you'll have to see what I pick out next week. But I decided that I wanted to do this one, and it's 4th of July from Madame Chantilly. And the reason why I'm struggling is the fabric. because it's a 32 count. And so I just don't enjoy stitching on it as much anymore. But I'm going to keep going through it because I know the end game, it's going to look amazing. And I did decide that I'm going to take this off because I just want it as a patriotic piece and not, you know, just strictly for 4th of July. Okay, so what I did was the mug and the freedom and the little flower things and then the pedestal. So it's not great, but it's not bad. I mean, any stitches I could get on this is a blessing. You know, it's a welcome. I appreciate it because it's not that I want to enjoy it. Like I said, it's just, you know how you have intentions sometimes. You're like, yes, I'm gonna love it. I bought it, and then you get it, and you're like, why am I not loving this like I should? But I still want to finish it, and I'm just gonna power through. It definitely won't be done this year, and that's okay. Okay. What I decided to do Thursday night and Saturday night is I wanted to pull out Vegeta. It's 14 count Ada. It's easy. It's something I did at night, and it doesn't look like I did a whole lot, but I promise you I did a couple hundred stitches. So I concentrated basically right here in the blue, and my goal is to keep moving to the left, okay, until we get to the mid part, which you know where his chin is. And then at that point, I'm going to work my way from the very top all the way down. So I know this doesn't look like I did a lot, but this guy's big. This is a big piece of fabric. And so I did change the blue because they had a blue that was super dark. And I'm like, I might as well just stitch it on black. I really couldn't tell the difference. So this blue I'm using now is the blue that I'm using for arabesque. You know, I think that's how you say it. It's the piece I'm doing from Jan Hicks. And I like it. It's just a little bright. Okay. The next thing I decided to do is I wanted to do 100 stitches a piece. So I did about, I don't know, 300. That's all I was able to get to. But this is it. And this is my Granny Sunflowers from Carolyn Manning. And this is my first one I've ever done. And this is a case in point on why I told you I like to cut my fabric bigger. Because I accidentally didn't put the center where the center should be. Yikes. The only good thing is I'm at the end, at the bottom there, so I have plenty of fabric to frame. I'm just kind of bummed that I'm going to have a whole lot on this, but I can cut it down. But, ooh. I love working on this. It's the black. Even though it's 14 count black Ada, it's still hard on the eyes. So I like to pull it out more often. I think especially in September and October until the time change, I'll probably try to do that and see how much I could get done because I love sunflowers and any kind of floral actually. Okay, the next one, excuse me. Fridays, I decided that I want, at least for right now, because you know I am random, I want to work on Obi-Wan Kenobi during the day because I am really close. This is probably one of the closest projects I have for a finish. And it's really, really enjoyable. So what I did on Friday is I did his lightsaber and I worked the bottom down here. And he's just looking so amazing. And this is on 28 count Monaco. and I love them. It's going to be hard for me to give them to my son, but he picked it out, so I'm going to do it. Because I'm not the Star Wars fanatic, but I just think he's so cool. So yeah, I think I'm like at 80% or something like that. So very, very excited about that one. Hopefully that'll be finished soon. And then last but not least is I took out and worked on this Sunday night, and it's a Realist kit. Now I can't find the cover. It must have fell, but it's called Funny Bunny, and it's so cute. Oh, it's over there, but I don't want to grab it. And this is what I've done. So the main thing I've done, is the white and leading to the pink, because my goal is the top, how do I explain it? Okay, that's as high up as I have to go for the whole pattern. And so I'm very glad I met that goal. So I might have like 2 stitches more above that. But I mean, for the most part, that is the flower that's the tallest. And so now I feel really great about working my way down, because I always struggle working my way up. Like the lightsaber, I'm 1 off. Like I have 1 less than I should. And I'm like, that's okay, because it's a lightsaber and I'm not going to stress about it. And it's not an important part, but it just doesn't matter how long you've been stitching. I mean, I've been stitching for 25 years, and you still make mistakes, whether that's why they're called mistakes. So typically I like to work my way down, but knowing that there was so much unevenness, I didn't want to take a chance of making a really big mistake. So I think that's going to go by faster now that I'm at the top part. And I love that pink. And then the only thing I bought one physical pattern, and I bought this from Top Knot Stitcher, and it's from Dirty Annie's. I know it's from 2021. I stitch a lot of old stuff. I don't necessarily have to get the newest stuff. And this is called Sunflower Bee. I'm probably going to convert it to DMC because I don't need to worry about fancy floss. And I'll probably end up doing it on 14 count. I got some fabric that I coffee tea dyed, and I'll probably cut a hunk off and do it when the time comes. But I love it. So cute. So I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by, and I hope that we will chat soon. Talk to you later. Bye.